Hello everyone. This is my video on installing Windows 11 24H2 onto about an 8-year-old i7 NUC that doesn't meet the hardware requirements for Windows 11. So basically you could use this for any PC that does not meet the basic hardware requirements. And I'm also going to have a part two. Every old PC is install this on. It's going to have in device manager under unknown devices. It's going to have unfound hardware that you have to find drivers for. So I'm going to have a part two that's going to go through how to tell what hardware that is and install the drivers for it. Yes, you can use Rufus to deploy Windows 11, but what I'm going to be doing is sort of like what in programming, what they call bare metal programming, where you actually do the basic underlying work. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the what Windows would do when you install it onto onto the computer. And also with Rufus, I've used it. It's great, and I'm not saying it won't be in the future, but it's just too easy. You don't really know what it's installing. Somebody could break into their site and add something to it and replace it back again, and it could be something that's bad that they add to it that it's installing on your computer. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be doing the actual hardware level installation of Windows. What you need to do is navigate to the Microsoft Windows 11 Creation Tool website. You just need to download the Windows 11 Media Creation Tool once, and from that, running it, you can create the USB or the DVD ISO. And to do that, you will need internet access. We're going to need to create both the USB creation tool and download DVD ISO. The reason being is that we need the file install.esd, and the Windows USB tool creates a 32 gigabyte partition on the USB drive, and the largest file you can have in a 32 gigabyte partition is, I think it's like around 4.3. I know it's not past 4.5 gigabyte. And what happens is Windows starts out, this has been going on since Windows 7. The Windows starts out, the install.esd is way below that. It's like 3 something or 4 gigabytes or whatever. So you can put it on the USB drive, and then it gets to a point where it grows from add-ins, updates and added features and stuff, and it goes way beyond that. And what they do is they split the file into two files that are dot swm, like dot swm and .1 swm, and then in using memory, it combines both of them, in RAM, and then it does your installation. But the file physically can exist as is install.esd in the 32 gigabyte partition. So what we're going to need to do is create a second partition on the USB drive, formatted NTFS, copy the install.esd from the extract it from the DVD and install it on that in that folder on the USB drive. And this looks familiar. It's basically the same program that you used for creating the ISO. And as always, you want to uncheck that it's for this PC, and you want to select USB this time. This is the disk manager or disk management, and you can open it by either right-clicking on the Windows icon and then selecting disk management, or you can do the Windows logo key plus R, which opens up a run prompt, and you type in diskmgmt.msc. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to add a partition to the USB boot drive, so we can copy our install.esd file over to it. I've already used the sidebar to scroll down to the USB drive, but it will show, when I open this up, it showed disks 0 and 1 and 2, and they're the other system hard drives in my computer. So you want to make sure you get the right drive. And you can see the left, it says disk 3, it says 115 gigabytes. So I wouldn't have anything that's 115 gigabyte. All the other ones are like, I think, terabytes. So, but still, you have to make sure you don't format your system drive or something. So as you can see, there's the 32 gigabyte FAT32 partition, and then there's 834 gigabyte unallocated. So we're going to use that unallocated. We're going to format it. We're going to format it NTFS. And make sure you select the unallocated space. And like magic, it's formatted NTFS, and it was. Now we're going to extract the install.esd file from the DVD image. And I use Ultra ISO just because I have the program. I bought it, and so I'm going to use that. You can do the same, or you can use something free like 7-zip. I think 7-zip you can extract files from an ISO. extracted install.esd over to the data partition on the flash drive. Over on the end stretch right now, and I just booted up the NUC, and I'm going to check in the BIOS, make sure everything's getting detected correctly, and that I will be booting from the USB drive. You do not want to proceed at this point with the pre-installation of Windows 11. To access the Windows PE command line, you want to do a Shift F10. Then type in disk part and hit enter. Then you want to type in list disk, and everything is singular. There's no plural. Even if it's multiple disks, you want to type in disk, not disks. And volume is volume, even though you have volumes, multiple volumes, it's always volume. It's always singular. Then you need to type in select disk for the disk you want to work with. And after you select it, if you go list disk again, the disk that you selected should have an asterisk to the left of it. It's always good to check. Once you clean a hard drive, if you clean the wrong hard drive, you clean your system drive, it's gone, everything's gone. And there's no unclean. Once you clean something, it's gone. There's the created partition. What I have to do first is convert the disk to a GPT disk. Then you want to type in list disk, hit enter. We are creating the hidden EFI boot partition. Now I have to format the partition for FAT32. Then we need to sign a drive letter. Now we need to create a partition primary. I had to do all this stuff on my first computer that I had. It was DOS. It was a DOS system. It was like DOS 2, DOS 3, something like that. And the controller card had a debug program, had a ROM with a debug program in it, and you had a software diskette, 5 1/4 diskette that you put in there, and you'd boot from it, and you type in debug, and you put in the address of the ROM, and what it would do is it would launch something like this. You had to low-level format the hard drive, and then you had to create the partitions, extended partitions, and low-level format it, and then the regular format. I mean, the hard drive was only, I think it was like 5 meg or something like that, 10 meg, 5 meg. What we're going to use now is DISM, which is a Microsoft tool. It's deployment, imaging, services, management. And you want to type in DISM /get -image info space /image file /install.esd. What happens is the install's got different versions of Windows 11, and they're indexed in the install.esd, so we have to find out what index we need. So then you hit enter, and these are all the different versions of Windows 11. There's Home, there's Education, there's Pro, and we want the Pro, so we want index number 6. And you're probably wondering, for each one, there's one that it's a version N, and it's about 600 meg shorter, or not shorter, smaller. 600 meg smaller, and that's because about 10 or 15 years ago, someone had a successful lawsuit against Microsoft saying, I would just want to buy Windows. I don't want to get the browser, So you should have a browserless version, and that's what the N is. So back then it was Internet Explorer. So if you got the N version, you didn't have the Internet Explorer. You had to use Chrome or was Firefox. I don't know. One of the whatever the other browsers are. I think Opera. So that always made me so ticked off. I mean, I was a tech at a big corporation. And we had like about 10 people that used like, what is it, Firefox or whatever the browser is, and they used Opera, and it's like, you're at work, you should use. I don't use it, so they'd have something wrong with it, and it would take a long time to fix it because I don't use it. I don't know anything about it. I have just almost a little bit. I have about as much of a clue as they do as what's wrong. It's like you're at work. Use what we provide you. At home you can use whatever you want. But at work you should use what we provide for you. And they'd use like that, and they'd use what's the other one? They would use for email, I think it was, or something. I don't know what they. I don't think it was email because we had email locked down to Outlook. I don't know. There was something else they used. It used to tick me off. I mean, not tick me off. It just, it added more to my day. It added more to their day because I couldn't get their computer back, like if they were using Outlook. And, or using back then Internet Explorer or Edge. We were using Edge a little bit, but when I retired, but I don't know. But anyway, so that's what the end version is. It's so if you can use the end version if you want to load the end version and use. Now that we know what index we need of Windows in the install.esd file, we can now apply the image to our C drive. So what you want to type in is dism again, dism space / apply hyphen image space / image file :e / install.esd space / index :6 space / apply directory C apply directory :C . So now we're going to use dism to apply the image, the install.esd. We're going to unpack it, and remember it resides on the volume that we created on your USB drive, a data volume, and we're going to apply it to the C drive. And the C drive, I think it will create like Windows, the Windows folder, and apply the image to that. And then the next step we're going to do after this is we're going to create the boot files, and they go to the EFI folder that we created, the partition for 500 megabytes that's hidden. You get down to this point, and all Microsoft wants you to do is create an account. You have to put in an email address and a password. There's no local account, or is there? I think there is. And it's a command line that you enter into a command prompt, and you can then create a local account. This is what you need to enter at the System32 folder in Windows. Start space ms-cxh : local only. And here's a primer on how to navigate using the command prompt in case when you do Shift F10 it doesn't land on the Windows folder or Windows 32. I mean, one time this is anybody computed, we had to do this. This is how we got around. And there were some minor programs that had graphical user interface. For the most part, we had to do command line stuff. So let's say you're at the users. So what you do is you can do a dir /p. And what that does, it does it by pay. Let me do this. This would be more dramatic. So at the C prompt, you do dir. Oh, it's space/p. That's right. And then you can see the directory and by page, and then you just press any key, and it goes to the next page. That was it, just part of another page. So you want to get to Windows, so you go change direct CD, and then type in Windows. And then you do a dir/p. And yeah, it is /p. You don't have to put a space. So it should by page. So that's the first page of all your directories and all the files. That's the next page. And that's the next page. That's the next page. There's System 32 right there. Right here, System 32. So you have to change that directory. So you go CD System 32. And then you just type in that command that I provided and hit enter, and you should have the ability to add a local account.